Just real quick, who did you play under at Tech?
Mike Leach.
Okay, I was hoping you were going to say that.
Oh, we got a dozen stories there.
What? Obviously, our condolences to Mike. But what an amazing guy that transformed football. And you were kind of at the beginning of this like Mike Leach story. What do you have in you from Mike Leach that will be with you forever?
So, well, there's a lot. I mean, look, I think a sense of humor is important. Like that's what I mean, and he always had that. But you would not describe Mike Leach, and this is not being critical, but there are very few players that would describe Mike Leach as a player's coach. That would say that wasn't necessarily how he endeared himself to his players, and that's not right or wrong. That's just coaches have different styles, and his was definitely not the caring, compassionate, loving, father figure coach necessarily. His was a different level of professionalism that I don't think college football has seen. Our job was playing football. You show up ready. We didn't stretch before games. It was like you come ready to play. That's not my job.
Yeah.
We didn't have pregame speeches. I mean, it was like the stuff that everything you think about in Texas football, like that regimen, that ritual, that like. We didn't do that stuff.
Yeah.
It was like, you come ready to play. And it was, and obviously the offense itself was like way off the track. I mean, just amazing the way that he works. But when we would go to practice, there were a few fundamental things. There was kind of 4 sayings, 2 of which that have always stuck with me. One was get better every day. That was kind of just his phrase, just like you're chopping wood. Like, don't come out here and waste time. And the other one was don't confuse activity with improvement. Famous saying that's been around for a long time. But those were 2 that I think when you're in the grind of anything, football especially, you're showing up every day, you're doing the same drills, the same routine, the same amount of time. You just kind of get in the routine. His sermon of many was always don't confuse activity with improvement. But I mean, I've got Mike Leach story after Mike Leach story, but a couple that I remember well. He didn't embrace the pirate thing like that. He was not a great speech giver early on. In fact, most of the time, I think Texas Tech was doing anything they could to try and hide him from the podium. And what he would do is he would what's the right way to think about this to say this for the camera. He would do stuff where he would loosen up. There would be certain things that would help him loosen up, maybe that were a liquid substance before he would give speeches. And of course, we're around him every day, so we would know what was going on. And so there was one of his early speeches at one of the early bowl games. He definitely had he had a little more help than he probably needed. And so the speech was much longer. It was the early days of what became the Pirate Rants. And so we're all sitting there like going, I mean, just as a team, like kind of looking around going, I can't believe this is going on. But he could go on. I mean, the fat little girlfriend's comment that was like an early one. That was, we must've gotten that speech 100 times.
That's funny.
There were a lot of those types of things that his motivation, style was different. But, you think about this a lot in leadership, the number of coaches that have come out of that system, right? I mean, you think about Art Browse, obviously, you think about Dana Holgerson, you think about Sonny Dykes, you think about Dave Aranda. I mean, you go down, literally go down the list. There are 20 coaches that have come out of that system that coach directly under Leach. And so for all the ways he might be critiqued, you look at that and you go, it's a different style of leadership, but that produced an amazing cast of coaches that are influencing the game today.